everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday! Is that better? So, yesterday I made a video about politics and presidential candidates, and I think I'll still upload that one, but it wasn't as clear. I kind of bounced around all over the place, so I just wanted to make this one very simple to understand. The people who are selected to be our leaders, regardless of country, they are all brought to us, first of all, as candidates. For some of them, they're candidates. For some of them, they're just dictators that you don't elect, but they are just put in place. This is a representation of the country as a whole. And so even down to the candidates, people may believe that they are the ones who are choosing their candidates, and they are. We are choosing our candidates. The pool of candidates that we have, whether it's Republican or Democrat or Green Party or Independent, we are all given a variety of choices, and these choices are based on the whole of the country, the energetics of the country. The universe always gives us something to represent all of us in some way, shape, or form. And if you notice, we have a lot for the Democrats right now. There are a lot of candidates, and these candidates are so different. And it's important to recognize what we're being presented, because people aren't just running for president. People are energetically inclined to run for president, and for different reasons, to support the various energies that are current on the planet right now. And this is the reason why someone like Marianne Williamson is or was, I don't know if she's still in the running or not. I don't think she's qualified for a lot of the debates that have come up, but she was in the first ones. There is a huge New Age movement, and so this New Age movement, they have a set of beliefs, and Marianne Williamson, get it together, Bradley. She represents a large part of, she represents the New Age belief system, the New Age, the people who feel the way that she does about love and understanding and having compassion and, looking out for the children. Like, this is who she is, but this is also the energetics of the souls from the New Age movement. Then you have someone like Andrew Yang, who is different than the establishment that has been for many, many, many years. And then you have those who support the majority of the old way, meaning the old way of politics, the way that politics have been known thus far. These are the people like Biden. These are the people like Warren. These are the people like Bernie Sanders, and even New Age people like Bernie Sanders. But there is still a group of people that are more in alignment with Marianne Williamson. So the candidates that we're presented with is a reflection of the soul. The reflection of the soul, of the country's soul condition. So all souls combined, the different feelings, the different beliefs, the different emotions that we have, we're all presented with candidates, and we choose our candidates, and the candidate that is more in alignment with us, with what we believe in, with what it can't be really what we want, because what we want may be different than what we believe in. So if we may want someone like Marianne Williamson or Andrew Yang, someone who's different, but if what we desire or what we have within our soul is fear, then we won't choose what we really want. What we'll choose is the condition of our soul. And if there's fear in there, then we won't go in alignment to what we want to see. We'll go in alignment with fear so that we can win. And most people do that. They vote based on their fears. And this is important to understand, because this is how we end up with our president, and this is how we're going to end up with our next president. And I know people say, you know, well, if you vote for this person, then you're splitting the vote and you're taking away votes, and then we'll lose, blah, 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 whatever. There's a reason for that as well. There's a reason why people can't agree. A lot of the reason is fear. A lot of the things that, like, I was listening to Marianne Williamson, and a lot of the things that she was saying, people agree with her. Like, I love what she's saying, but does she have a chance to win? And this is the issue. People choose their fears rather than what they really want to see happen, and so they can't go outside of their soul. Meaning, the fear that they have within their soul is going to govern their decision. And so they may want to see things for children. They may want to see, you know, peace, but if they have fear of that not being the winning factor against the opposition, they won't choose that. And so they forfeit what they really want to see, and they end up choosing their fears. And what ends up happening is people end up choosing their fears. Like, that's what they end up with, is their fear. And then they have 4 years of fear because they allowed their soul condition to govern their choice. This is why you can't. This is why we've had the types of presidents that we've had, because the soul condition of the country has changed. It shifts all the time, and people don't know of their soul condition. They make decisions based on their mind, and I'm not gonna mess with you, and I'll be a fool to jump in front of you. So if you want to do that, I'm gonna do this right here. Girl, you on your phone? You on something? Yep, she's on your phone. Get off your phone, girl. Oh, she want to be a bitch. She want to be a bitch this morning. You thought I was getting on the freeway, but I'm not. So anyway, so that's, you know, how the elections really work. Like, we truly do choose our president. We choose the candidates, the types of candidates that we have, the energy that they have. They're all a representation of where we are in the moment. This is why we have such a wide variety. For many years, people have bought into the, I should say, establishment, the political establishment, the way things have been done. For hundreds of years, this is the way that it's been. But because people are moving towards being free thinkers, the souls, the condition of the soul has changed. The beliefs of the soul have changed. The desires of the soul have changed. And the universe has to present. It must present. That is its mandate. It has to do that. That's the only thing it knows how to do, is to reflect back to us where we are. That's the only thing that can happen. That's the only thing that the universe does, is it reflects back to us who we are, where we are. And then it's our responsibility to look at it and ask ourselves, is this where we want to be? This is where I am. This is where we are. Is this where I want to be? That's what you do when you get what has been delivered to you. When you have been delivered to you, because that's all it is you being delivered to you. You being delivered to yourself. You being delivered to yourself. That's all our experiences are. Ourselves being delivered to ourselves. And when you change that, when you change the love within your soul, when you do that, you change your experience, and therefore a new you is presented to who you are. In that moment, you know who you are. In that moment, you know who you are. In every moment, you know who you are. At every moment, every waking moment and every sleeping moment, being as we don't sleep and we're always in the spirit world, when we're not here, when we're not physically present and conscious in our physical reality, we are conscious in the spirit world, and we are being presented ourselves in that time and space as well. So there's never a time when we're not aware of where we are. We're actually more aware where we are in the spirit world than we are when we're here, because we don't have the physical illusion in the spirit world. We have what we are in the spirit world. We see the true condition of who we are. From the spirit world perspective, we can see a lot of what's going on. This is what our dreams are for. Our dreams are our ability to send messages here in the physical. You wake up, you're like, oh, I had a dream. Oh, I felt like this, or I felt like that. Sometimes it's a remembering of what happened in the spirit in the sleep state. Sometimes it's a message directly to you, from you, so that you can improve yourself. Because people call it the higher self, but it's really yourself removed from the physical. It's really just you without your physical blinders on. People call it a higher self, and they really believe that it's a separate aspect of who you are. And I can see why it would seem that way, because from the physical perspective, there is a separation. There can't be. I guess how I would put it is, the way people see this higher self thing is, you have a higher self, but your physical self is a different person than the spirit that they call the higher self. I can see how there has to be separate things in order to understand things. So everything has to be outside of you. It wasn't until recent, I don't want to say recent, but I'll say recent, where this New Age movement has been doing this whole, and it's not new, it's very old, it's very ancient actually, this whole oneness movement, or the universe of one. What do they call it? The one movement or something, I don't know. But it's just everything is one. So we're all connected, and so there is no separation. But at the same time, there is a separation because they come up with the higher self. So it's just, even those two things are separate, but yet they use them, they intertwine them. So it's just interesting how the physical perspective is, because it has to be separate, which is part of the problem, because everything is so connected, everything is actually one, and people compartmentalize them. Like for instance, the subconscious. There is no subconscious. There's not the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. There's just the consciousness of a person, and then there's the denial of that aspect of who they are, which is often referred to as the subconscious. But as you keep it separated, then you have no control over it, because they see it as outside of yourself. And it's something outside of yourself that you need to change, when in actuality, it's the very thing within your being, the denial, that is making up your subconscious. That's what's making it up. So if you clear that up, if you understand what you're suppressing, and you unsuppress it, and you look at it and you deal with it, then you can remove it from your existence altogether. And that way it doesn't have to be this illusion of separation, nor does it have to be an aspect of your whole that is degraded. But anyway, back to the elections, presidential things. It's just, I see, these debates going on, and people are, and it's good to hear them. It's good to hear them. Because you hear their perspective, you're like, okay, this is what I stand for, this is what I don't stand for. But that should be all that you're using to determine whether or not you want to pick this candidate to be the ruler of the land. It shouldn't be fear. It shouldn't be, well, can they win? Do they have a chance at winning? I really like them. You should vote how you feel about it. And if you have hatred within you and you want to vote for someone who is hateful, then that's something that you must do, because that's something that has to happen, and it's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen anyway, but it's best to be honest about it so that you can improve yourself. Choosing a president is something that you can learn a lot about yourself from partaking in. It can be very revealing. But this can only happen if you have humility. But this is with anybody. You can only learn something about yourself if you have humility. If you don't have humility, then you can't see yourself. You're not humble enough to see where you are real time, honestly and truthfully. So that's an important thing. You won't be able to see anything otherwise. You'll just continue living the illusion, believing that the illusion happens the way that you believe it to happen. But it doesn't happen like that. But it is an illusion, and yes, you can believe it. That's the way the Creator created it. You can create whatever you want. You can believe whatever you want. It's not wrong, but because it's not wrong to create and believe whatever you want. But what is wrong is if you harm others and harm yourself. And it's almost like a catch-22, because you can make decisions that you're free to make and harm yourself. So that happens all the time, but you have to be aware of it. And that's the thing, people, when you're not aware of it, you believe that it is a double standard. But when you're aware of it and you know that you don't, Lord Jesus. So skateboards are bike lane too. I don't know what the hell. What happened? He falls in front of my car, and I just boom, boom. Then it's my fault, right? Whatever. I don't know. That's even legal. Who cares about law? Man's laws are all flawed anyway. So a cop can pass by him and not do something if it's illegal, right? So that's why you try to live by God's laws and not man's laws. If you live by God's laws, you won't have to, interact with man's laws. Anyway, so I had another topic. I couldn't remember what it was, but for half of the trip it was very I was in deep thought about some things, and I couldn't start a video in that state, so that's why I kind of got out of it real quick. But yeah, that's how presidents are picked. So there's no need to be angry when the person who wins isn't the person that you want. Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. But there's really no point in being angry. But there is a big chance for understanding to be had, to actually understand that this is where we are as a whole, in our country. This is where we are. If you didn't vote for the person who's in office, or for those who didn't vote for Trump and was elected, then there's no reason to be angry. What's done is done. The sole condition of the planet is before us. Trump is the sole condition of the majority. That's the truth. Even though Hillary Clinton got the popular vote, the sole condition is Trump. So what you see, really think about it. And I don't mean to be offensive if you're a Trump supporter, but he doesn't hold true to his word. He doesn't accept responsibility. He runs away from it a great deal. He's always in denial, and that's where people are in this country. They're in denial of their pain, in denial of what they're doing, in denial of their participation in unloving things. That's where we are as a whole. And this is Trump is that mirror for us to see where we are. Are we judgmental? Are we do we want to be dictators? Absolutely. Most people are dictators. Look at what they do to their children. Try to dictate everything. Look what they do to their friends. Try to dictate everything. Look what they do in their private relationships. Try to control and dictate everything. Who cares what the other person wants? This is what I want. And so you say screw everybody else. This is what's been happening with the president. The president has been doing whatever he wants to do. He's not listening to the will of the people. He's more like a dictator. And this is why it's important to understand this is where we are. There's a lot of people who are suffering, who are angry, and that is something that is something that needs to be recognized as well. Look at the people who hate because he's in office. That hate is something for you to see. That's being generated because you have hate within you. It's not because of what Trump is doing. There's a lot of things that Trump has been doing. I haven't hated the man one bit. I'm like, okay, he's doing whatever he's doing, but I don't allow him to affect me. But there's a lot of people out there who allow him to affect them. And this is what's important to understand. I mean, this is anyone and everyone who's ever elected is going to present something to us so that we can see. Any and every president is going to be present in order to show us what dwells within us, or what dwells within the souls of the country as a whole. So you have to look at it from that perspective. If you don't, then you'll just be angry. You'll either be happy and angry, happy that your person won, but angry at the results. And some people will be angry at the person who won, but happy with the results. It really depends. But it's all different for each and every soul. This is why you can't ask someone why you're voting for this person, because it's always going to be different. It's going to be different for everyone, every single person. They like or don't like someone. 27. They like and don't like others or people because of the condition of their soul. Everyone has something different going on within their soul. Therefore, they're going to have different reasons and different reactions to the final decision. All right, everybody. That's it. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. So you guys have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Thanksgiving coming up next week, and hopefully you guys have some turkey or something. If you celebrate it. If you don't, then you don't. But whatever you do it with a smile if you can. Do it with joy and happiness. Even if you're by yourself, even if you don't have anybody, go to the store and go to Boston Market. Do whatever. Cook if you like to cook, even if you're cooking for yourself. You'll have leftovers for a week. That's what I love doing. I love cooking and having leftovers for a whole week. Turkey, ham, stuffing, all that stuff. Oh, my pie, ambrosia, cheesecake, banana pudding, you name it. You put it out there and eat it. You just stuff yourself like a pig, like just gluttonous. All right, everybody, you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.